Greetings! In this video I'm going to show you how to make a fretboard. First thing I do is I start off with a piece of hardwood. This is a 1/4 of an inch thick, 1.5 inches wide, and 25 inches long. And what I do with this thing here is I get a template, and you can get these online, print them out, or you can just steal the templates from a normal guitar, just write it on here, scratch it on here with a magic marker. I also sometimes use this 25-inch scale here where I can just take a magic marker or a pen and draw the fret lines in here. And then what I'll do is I'll cut out the fret line with this little saw here, which is a 0.023 thickness. And that's the exact thickness you need for the fret. That little thing that sticks down from the fret, the exact same thickness, 0.023. And what you're left with is a fretboard, and I like to sand them down and then dark stain them so they look darker. And then I'll glue it onto the neck, which in this case here is I have an oak neck with a dark stained poplar fretboard glued on. And I already got a few frets on here already. Here's my slots here. So what I'll do is I'll get my fret wire, push my fret down into the slot, and lightly tap it in with a hammer. And then I will get a pair of wire cutters that are flat on one side, and then cut it flush. And the flusher the better here, because you don't have to file so much later on with the little files. Sometimes they're a little tricky to get in there. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. It's the beginnings. I got to go back and file them down with the little files, and then sand them down with the sandpaper, make sure they're nice and smooth, and I inspect each one with the magnifying glass. A lot of fun. Alright, so first thing I do is I get a file and angle it kind of about whatever seems good, and then just take off all of the extra material, all of the fret wire that sticks out. That way all the fret ends are uniform and at a relatively the same angle. And then what I like to do is get like these little files, and I'll make the edges smooth so that I can drag the edges on the wood itself and not hurt it, right? And then what I do is I just curve over the top, curve over the top, curve over the top, and I like to do a pulling action. Curve over the top, curve over the top, curve over the top. What I do for one fret, I do for every fret, so that every fret is about the same. Alright, what you do for one side, you do for the other side. Do for both sides. And then I like to take just a little bit off the top. Last but not least, I'll get some really fine grit sandpaper and lightly sand the edges of these guys so that everything is smooth to the touch. Smooth as butter. And here's a quick and dirty way to do nail inlays. Get a pokey owl thing, poke it where you want it, get a little drill, drill it out, get a little nail with a head, put it in the thing, and then get a hammer, tap it smooth, and there you have it, nice little inlay. And then I give them all just a little extra hit so that they're nice and smooth. All right, real quick, I'm going to show you how to cut out these notches. So what I do is I get my neck and I find the center of it and I mark each side with a marker, right? And then I get a straight edge and I mark I'll mark it is exactly the depth I need to so that the fretboard is exactly over the top. So I'll put a line on the bottom there. And once I get the bottom line, what I do is I get my drill and then I just drill along the bottom line, all along the bottom with little drill lines, little holes all the way across. All right, and then using my fretting saw, I'll saw straight down on the line here. Okay, now that I got it all filed there, I'll nice and snug close it up. There you have it. Nice, clean lines, nice tight fit, and the fretboard is exactly the right height. I like to do sound holes and bracing. I just get these guys and glue them in the corners. Sometimes I take the paper out, sometimes I leave the paper in. Depends if the paper is really attached well or not. This one here is just a simple input jack, and the wires go to a piezo element. This one does not have a volume knob or anything, it's just a straight signal. And then I hot glue these guys down so that the wires don't rattle around in there when it's closed.